don't we get Mr. Banana Hammock to come over here where we can get a better look at him?
Okay. Well, there's two big advantages to breastfeeding, and I'm going to put mine to work.
Sally! Wow. That's it, girl.
What's that umbrella for, baby?
Sally! Oh, my God!
Oh, it's definitely working.
You're good at that.
Oh, my God, he likes it!
Is he coming this way?
He's coming this way. He's coming towards us right now. This is good now. Whatever you do, don't fart.
What's up, ladies? How you doing? Do you kayak fish? So, what's your favorite fish to catch? So, have you ladies seen the picture of my big, giant, thick fish? You hope Caesars?
Everything was on steroids except for his voice.
Well, here we go, folks. Time to get to the nitty-gritty BTB fishing stuff. I'm going to show you a frugal way to get out there and catch some fish. Well, one of the most important things is checking the weather. You got to know if it's safe before you get out there. So one good website is the NOAA website. You can find weather, you can find tides, you can find wind, you can find what the waves are forecast for the day, and you can even find a great radar so you can see what's coming up. Another great website to be familiar with is Magic Seaweed. This will show you the wind speeds and, of course, get you prepared for what type of surf you're going to find out there. Now, I would say probably the website I use the most is Windfinder. I have this app on my phone. It's great for fishing in the bay, and it's great for being offshore. Great map for wind and waves. Make sure you got a good kayak for going offshore. Now, I'm kind of partial to Hobies. I use a Hobie PA14, but I would say one of the most versatile kayaks out there is the Hobie Outback. It's great for going through the surf. It's comfortable, it's stable, and let's face it, pedal power is the way to go, baby. It's much easier pedaling than it is paddling. Make sure you find a good life jacket. Find something that's comfortable, and most importantly, find something that's safe. This is the item that's going to save your life if there's an issue out there. Do some research. Don't forget to take sunscreen, lots of it. There's no shade when you're BTB. It's just you, the waves, and the sun. Find yourself a hat. You got to have something to keep the sun off your face and off your neck. Make sure you hydrate. Take lots of water, Gatorade, whatever it takes to keep you feeling comfortable and alive out there. Get yourself an anchor and attach it to a float. You hook up on a big fish, you want to be able to just unhook from your anchor, let that fish pull you around, go on a kayak sleigh ride, but then you need to go back and find that anchor. An anchor trolley is a good investment. You can use it to turn the kayak so that the waves are hitting you in the back or the wind is hitting you in the back. I use it offshore and I use it in the bay. It's just a great item to have. You can't go wrong with it. For a quick release, when you want to drop that anchor, I like to use these Night Eyes Carabiners. They hold up in the salt really well. For safety purposes, always make sure you fish with a partner or two, and always make sure you have a floating VHF radio. Of course, you're going to want a knife. A bait knife always comes in handy. I recommend investing in a good set of non-rusting pliers. You're going to need to remove those hooks from those fish you catch. If your pliers aren't manly enough to cut through cable or hooks, I would recommend bringing a good sturdy pair of wire cutters. I know I've had to remove a few hooks from my leg, and it's always nice to have something handy to cut that cable once you hook into a big shark. Fish grips are a must. I mean, a lot of the fish you catch out there, you can't lip them. You can't fit them in a net. Get some fish grips. You can grab onto it with that and keep your fingers all in one piece. Pretty much every fish you're going to hook up into offshore is going to have sharp teeth or something that's going to poke you or prick you. Invest in the Lindy fish handling gloves. It also stops from getting those hooks embedded. The leaders you need for redfish are pretty simple. Just get yourself a cable or some thick mono with a nice size circle hook. Sometimes I use weight, sometimes I don't. It just depends on where the fish are that day. When it comes to shark fishing, I almost use the same leaders. I either use thick mono or cable with a big circle hook. I'd either freeline it or float it under a balloon. When it comes to Kingfish Leaders, I like to purchase these right here. I can get different colored dusters. They come with 2 hooks. Sometimes I add a third, especially if the fish are cutting up my ribbon fish at the tail end. Just throw it out there. Usually I don't even use any weight, but if you need to, throw a little bit of weight on the front, throw a jig head on the front, and that'll get down there to where the fish are. I've caught some pretty large fish with these very Kingfish Leaders here. I find fishing out of a kayak, I don't need a whole lot of strength with my line. 30-pound mono is about all I ever use. When it comes to rods, my favorite one is a Shakespeare Ugly Stick Tiger rod. Kind of a mid-grade rod when it comes to expense. We're talking $40 to $60, and they take a beating. I've caught kingfish, redfish, and sharks up to 10 foot. If you really want to save some money, get the Shakespeare Sturdy Stick. This can be anywhere from $10 to $25. Since I'm a cheapskate, and I happen to know that BTB Kayaking fishing is hard on your rods and reels, I usually save a lot of money by spending $40 to $50 for Akuma Classics. They're great reels, and at the end of the season, if they freeze up, I can just go buy another one. When it comes to fishing for bull reds and sharks, mullet is a cheap way to go. Get a big mullet, cut it into a 4-inch chunk, toss it out there. And hey, mullets rock. Another great bait for sharks are ray. Stingray is a great shark bait. If you're targeting kingfish, go out and buy some ribbon fish. They can't resist ribbon fish. Haven't tried these yet, but this is my goal this year, is to try those 12-inch swarms. I would guess that pearl color is going to look just like a ribbon fish. You can use ballyhoo, you can use blue runners, heck, any small fish works great offshore. And to catch those bait fish, just throw down a sabiki rig. Tons of small fish down there for the taking. Artificial lures work great also. Bomber longays work. I like to use cotton cordels, they're really inexpensive and they work also. If you want to get a little bit deeper, throw down a cotton cordel wally diver. Those get way down the water, move kind of quick, a lot of action, and they work just great. I love throwing bomber badonkadonk topwaters for Spanish mackerel and kingfish, but if you hook onto a kingfish with a light trout rod, you better start chasing them down because they can really rip out the drag. And every BTB tackle box must be complete with some butterfly jigs. Of course, you're going to need a fish bag. These fish are larger than the ones you're catching in the bay. I did a good review on this boonfish bag. Sometimes things don't always go right when you're offshore. Rods fall in, kayaks tip over. It's always a good idea to leash your stuff in. Let's see some clips of some fishing. Now you can see the tiger stick is doing its job. It's getting the workout in, reeling in these redfish. Redfish that are 40 inches, they can put a bend on your rod. They can put quite a pull. Come on, fish, get up here. You can't just muscle them in. Come on, fish, tire out. Get up here. Here you can see I finally get them up there next to the boat. I always get a little nervous reaching in to pull them in because you never know what sharks are down there. They love to come steal your bait. The redfish tend to like the dirty water. You don't have to go out that far to find good bull reds. Sometimes I'm out a quarter mile, sometimes I'm fishing in like 6, 8 foot of water, sometimes I'm as deep as 16. Here's where those fish grips come in handy. Reach down, grab that lip, pull them up. Just keep that hook out of your leg. Been there, done that, does not feel good. Trying to get pictures of these big fish gets to be a pain too. You just can't seem to get the camera far enough away. I kept trying, missing out the fish, trying, getting an angle, trying. It takes some practice and a lot of trial and error. Bull reds really aren't that great to eat, so after you take some pictures and document your catch, might as well get them back in the water as quickly as possible. Let them swim away, let them live, try to catch them another day. They are some fun fish. Now, it's always a good idea when you're offshore to find some structure. Find some of the close oil rigs to paddle out to. Look for some color changes like you can see here. On this day we found the kingfish right in the color change. Sometimes it's a trash line. Sometimes it just could be a little bit of coral on the bottom. You catch fish like sharks and they can really give a pull. They can really rip that drag right out. And heck, they're kind of unpredictable. This one kept jumping out all over the water. I'm always skeptical. What if I'm out there and one of those spinner sharks just randomly jumps and lands in my boat? Stranger things have happened. as I've said, all the fish offshore have teeth. Even these little ones can get you if you're not careful. And of course there's big ones like this 10-footer here. He scared me. And watch those tails on those sharks. Those things can whip. And it hurts too. And sometimes you catch some other weird things out there, like this giant stingray. I have no idea how huge this was, but it took an hour and a half to get him up for the picture. And look at the size of that stinger. Well, I hope you got some useful information out of what I shared with you. OperationFish.com signing out.